घर से बाहर निकलने की अभी कल्पना करना भी सही नहीं है।
जुड़िए डीडी न्यूज की खास मुहिम मास्क अप इंडिया के साथ। कोरोना से बचाव की इस पहल का हिस्सा बनने के लिए साझा कीजिए मास्क पहनने के अपने अनुभव, अपने विचार हमारे साथ फेसबुक और ट्विटर पर।
मास्क अप इंडिया
डीडी न्यूज के माध्यम से सबको बताना है, कोरोना को हराना है, मास्क जरूर लगाना है।
मास्क अप इंडिया,
मास्क अप इंडिया,
मास्क अप इंडिया।
The changing world of news. Headlines that you wake up to. News that shapes your day. Stories that matter to you. The latest and most accurate updates. A fresh start to a new day. The Breakfast News, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. on DD India.
कोरोना से बचाव के उपाय। आपस में कम से कम 1 मीटर की दूरी रखें। हाथों को बार बार साबुन और पानी से धोएं। 60% अल्कोहल आधारित सैनिटाइजर का प्रयोग करें। मास्क से चेहरे को ढक कर रखें। छींकते या खांसते समय नाक और मुंह को रुमाल या टिश्यू से ढकें। प्रयोग किए गए टिश्यू को तुरंत कूड़ेदान में डालें। सामाजिक आयोजनों और भीड़-भाड़ वाली जगहों से दूर रहें।
ISRO successfully launches communication satellite CMS-01 through PSLV C-50 from Sriharikota. Satellite to provide telecommunication services including television, tele-education, telemedicine and disaster management support. Bangladesh is a major pillar in India's neighbourhood first policy, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Addressing India-Bangladesh bilateral virtual summit, pays tributes to the brave hearts who laid down their lives in 1971 Indo-Pakistan war, says it's a matter of pride for India to celebrate Vijay Divas as a mark of victory over anti-liberation forces, hails the satisfying bilateral relationship during the pandemic. Centre writes to West Bengal government to immediately send the 3 IPS officers on central deputation, cites IPS cadre rules, asserts in any case of dispute between centre and state, centre prevails. Covaxin, India's indigenous COVID vaccine, shows encouraging results in the phase 1 human clinical trials. No vaccine-related serious side effects were observed and was well tolerated in all dose groups, says ICMR. And global corona cases exceed 7.44 crore with 16.54 lakh fatalities. Global efforts in the race for a coronavirus vaccine. Development Bank offers $1 billion to help Latin America, Caribbean with COVID-19 vaccinations. In sports, India crossed 200 mark in opening day of the Adelaide Test. Kohli and Rane rebuilt Indian innings against Australia. Australian skipper Captain Kohli, Indian skipper, hits half-century. Australia's Stark and Cummins remove India's openers. Namaskar and welcome. You're watching DD News. I'm Sakal Bhatt and the top story at this hour. Well, Indian Space Research Organisation or ISRO has successfully launched CMS-01 communication satellite from the second launch pad at Satish Dhawan Space Centre at Sriharikota today, just a while back. CMS-01 is the 42nd communication satellite of the space agency and is envisaged for providing services in extended C-band of the frequency spectrum covering mainland, Andaman and Nicobar as well as Lakshadweep Islands. The satellite to be the sole payload on the PSLV-C50 mission, and it provides telecommunication services including television, tele-education, telemedicine and disaster management support. The satellite has an expected mission life of 7 years. And addressing the scientist after the successful launch of PSLV-C50, ISRO chairman Dr. K. Sivan complimented the team, saying they worked very well and safely under the COVID-19 pandemic situation.
This excellent success really we achieved today because of the hard work and dedicated effort by Team ISRO, both launch vehicle team as well as satellite team tirelessly worked very in the pandemic conditions. Very safely they worked, as well as with a minimum number of team. They have done the job. Kudos to my ISRO team for both launch vehicle team as well as satellite team.
In other lead story of the day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina today held a virtual summit and discussed the entire spectrum of the bilateral relationship, including further strengthening cooperation in the post-COVID era. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Modi stressed on India's neighbourhood first policy, of which Bangladesh has been a strong pillar. Prime Minister added that both nations had good cooperation amidst COVID pandemic.
बांग्लादेश हमारी नेबरहुड फर्स्ट नीति का एक प्रमुख स्तंभ है। बांग्लादेश के साथ संबंधों में मजबूती और गहराई लाना मेरे लिए पहले दिन से ही विशेष प्राथमिकता रही है। यह बात सही है कि वैश्विक महामारी के कारण यह वर्ष बहुत ही चुनौतीपूर्ण रहा है, लेकिन संतोष का विषय है कि इस कठिन समय में भारत और बांग्लादेश के बीच अच्छा सहयोग रहा। चाहे वो दवाइयां या मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट हो या फिर हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल के साथ काम करना हो, वैक्सीन के क्षेत्र में भी हमारे बीच अच्छा सहयोग चल रहा है। इस सिलसिले में हम आपकी आवश्यकताओं का भी विशेष ध्यान रखेंगे। सार्क फ्रेमवर्क के तहत बांग्लादेश के योगदान के लिए मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं।
Prime Minister also paid rich tributes to all the brave hearts who laid down their lives in 1971 India-Pakistan war. Remember, Indian troops brought Pakistani troops down to their knees, resulting in a surrender of at least 93,000 Pakistani soldiers, as well as Pakistan's miserable loss. Prime Minister Modi said it's a matter of pride for India to celebrate Vijay Diwas as a mark of victory over anti-liberation forces.
विजय दिवस के तुरंत बाद आज की हमारी मुलाकात और अधिक विशेष महत्व रखती है। एंटी लिबरेशन फोर्सेस पर बांग्लादेश की ऐतिहासिक जीत को आपके साथ विजय दिवस के रूप में मनाना हमारे लिए गर्व की बात है। आज जब बांग्लादेश आजादी के 49 वर्ष मना रहा है, मैं दोनों देशों के शहीदों को, जिन्होंने अपने प्राणों की आहुति दी, श्रद्धापूर्वक नमन करता हूं।
And during the summit, Prime Minister Modi and Bangladesh Prime Minister launched a stamp to commemorate the birth centenary of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who led Bangladesh to its independence from Pakistan in 1971.
मुजीब वर्षों के अवसर पर मैं सभी भारतीयों की ओर से आपको बधाई देता हूं। अगले वर्ष बांग्लादेश यात्रा के निमंत्रण के लिए मैं आपका धन्यवाद करता हूं। आपके साथ बंगबंधु को श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करना मेरे लिए गर्व की बात होगी।
The summit also saw the launch of Bangabandhu Bapu digital exhibition to celebrate the legacy of Mahatma Gandhi and Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. The exhibition will be available for viewing in New Delhi, Dhaka, Kolkata, United Nations as well as 18 other locations.
मैं आशा करता हूं कि बापू और बंगबंधु की प्रदर्शनी हमारे युवाओं को प्रेरणा देगी। इसमें एक विशेष सेक्शन कस्तूरबा गांधी जी और पूजनीय बोंगो माता जी को भी डेडिकेट किया गया है।
Let's move on to the other stories. Now, Supreme Court began hearing the petition by farmers. Today, the Chief Justice of India, while hearing farmers' pleas, said that Supreme Court understands the pain of farmers and always sympathizes with them. Only the court said that we are talking about the manner of the protest. Attorney General said that if farmers' unions are boycotting talks, then no solution can be found by setting up committees. In an effort to spread awareness among the farmers, government has come out with a booklet titled Annadata on Modi government's contribution to farmers' cause. The booklet is available in Hindi, English and Punjabi. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar has reiterated that the government is committed to the welfare of the farmers.
अन्नदाता नाम से जो बुकलेट सरकार के तरफ से हुई है, उसमें गुजरात के मुख्यमंत्री रहते प्रधानमंत्री जी ने किसान की दृष्टि कैसे रखी किसान के प्रश्नों पर, और पानी, बीमा और सब में जिस तरह से काम किया, और अभी प्रधानमंत्री बनने के बाद सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड से लेकर नीम कोटिंग यूरिया से लेकर फसल बीमा योजना से लेकर किसान सम्मान निधि से लेकर एमएसपी में जो कॉस्ट प्लस 50% का ऐतिहासिक फैसला किया, ये सब निर्णय उसमें है। और मुझे विश्वास है ये अभी लोग बहुत ये सरकारी किताब अच्छी उसको लोग मांग रहे हैं, और हम भी सब ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों तक पहुँचेंगे।
Well, the centre has written to the West Bengal government to immediately, in fact, send the 3 IPS officers on central deputation. Citing Rule 6.1 of IPS cadre rules, the centre asserts in case of any dispute between the centre and the state, it's the centre which prevails. Centre shares posting information of 3 officers with the state. Bholanath Pandey gets SP post in BPRD. Praveen Tripathi will be DIG in SSB. And Rajiv Mishra is made IG of the ITBP. The centre had written letter to the state of West Bengal last week on sending 3 officers on central deputation. And following the state not budging to such a letter, the centre once again writes letter and asks for sending 3 officers immediately on central deputation. And now moving on to news on COVID vaccine front, where India's indigenous COVID vaccine Covaxin is being developed by ICMR in partnership with Bharat Biotech. It has shown encouraging results in phase 1 human clinical trials. The vaccine showed safety and generated immune response in phase 1 trials. Meanwhile, no vaccine-related serious side effects have been observed so far. ICMR also informed that vaccine can be stored at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius and is compatible with National Immunization Plan. The vaccine is undergoing phase 3 clinical human trial involving 26,000 participants. Staying with the COVID-19 news, it's now time to take a quick look at the news related to the pandemic numbers in India. Let's take a look at these numbers. With more than 33,000 recoveries recorded on Wednesday, the total number of recovered patients now stands at nearly 94.8 lakh. With this, the recovery rate currently stands at 95.3%. India's three-pronged strategy of testing, tracing and treating is proving to be great success, giving us these good numbers. Fatality rate has dropped to 1.45%. Death toll was at 1,44,451. That's the latest on death toll. The number of active COVID-19 cases in India is more than 3.2 lakh. It is 3.2% basically of the total cases that have been reported so far. So basically 3.24% of the total cases reported so far. That's the number of active cases. And with continuous efforts, effective planning and strategic management, recovery rate in the nation is witnessing a steady rise. Let's now depict it through graphs. Recoveries are outnumbering daily new cases, which ensures steep upward trajectory of the recovery rate. Ministry of Wealth and Family Welfare has informed that 18 states and union territories have recovery rate which is more than the national average. Indian Council of Medical Research has informed that more than 15.78 crore samples were tested for COVID-19 up to 16th of December. Of these, more than 11.5 lakh samples were tested yesterday. Schools in Madhya Pradesh are set to reopen for class 10th and 12th from 18th of December. State School Education Minister Inder Singh Parmar has said that the decision to reopen schools for classes 10th and 12th has been taken keeping in view the upcoming board examination. The attendance of the students will depend on the consent of parents or guardians. The consent given by them will be valid for the entire session. However, attendance of the students is not mandatory. Those who wish to study through online mode will be allowed to study online, and activities like prayers and group activities, sports activities, swimming extra, all this has been banned in the school. All COVID-19 norms in place will have to be followed strictly. Colleges in the state are set to reopen in a phased manner from the 1st of January 2021. We are talking about the state of Madhya Pradesh. In other news, Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat has said that India's goodwill comes with no strings attached and Nepal is free to act independently in international affairs but must be vigilant and learn from Sri Lanka and other nations which have also signed agreements with other countries in the region. General Bipin Rawat says this while taking part in a virtual webinar in New Delhi. Let's now move on and get you some more news and updates. Schools in Madhya Pradesh are set to reopen for class 10th and 12th from 18th of December. State School Education Minister Inder Singh Parmar has said that the decision to reopen schools for classes 10th and 12th has been taken, keeping in view the upcoming board exams. The attendance of the students will be depending on the consent of the parents or guardians. The consent given by them will be valid for the entire session. However, attendance of the students is not mandatory. Those who wish to study through online mode will be allowed to do so. Activities like prayers, group activities, sports, swimmings, all that will be banned in the schools. Basically, group activities, all COVID-19 norms in place will have to be followed very strictly. Also, colleges are set to reopen in the phased manner from 1st of January 2021. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar has slammed Congress leader Rahul Gandhi over his walkout from the defence-related Parliamentary Standing Committee and said that first Rahul Gandhi was not present at the meeting and then he will question and insult the constitutional institutions. Javadekar condemned the stand by Rahul Gandhi.
Rahul Gandhi कल रक्षा विषयक स्थायी समिति के बैठक से वॉकआउट कर गए। उनका कहना था कि महत्वपूर्ण विषयों के बदले छोटे छोटे विषय क्यों लिए जा रहे हैं। ये पहले अनुपस्थित रहेंगे, अपना जो एजेंडा चाहते हैं वो बताएंगे नहीं, और फिर अचानक 14 में से 2 ही बैठकों में आएंगे और बैठकों में आकर फिर ये कहेंगे कि महत्वपूर्ण विषयों की चर्चा नहीं हो रही है। ये सांसदीय प्रणाली को और संवैधानिक संस्थाओं का अपमान है। ये संवैधानिक संस्थाओं के लिए जिस तरह से उन्होंने काम किया है उसका ये परिचायक है, और जब पहले ऑर्डिनेंस फाड़ा था वो भी इसी का उदाहरण एक है। और इसलिए हम इस रवैये की भर्त्सना करते हैं और राहुल गांधी को संवैधानिक संस्थाओं का आदर करने सीखना चाहिए, नहीं तो लोकतंत्र में उनकी भूमिका और नगण्य होती जाएगी।
BJP MP Meenakshi Lekhi has leveled serious allegations on Kejriwal-led Delhi government while addressing the media at party headquarters in New Delhi. Lekhi, replying to a question related to farmers, said that Delhi's farmers never got any benefits from MSP, and during Congress's rule, farmers were denied of this facility.
दिल्ली के किसानों की ये हालत है कि दिल्ली में कभी किसानों को MSP मिला ही नहीं है कांग्रेस के समय से। और जो ये फ्री बिजली, फ्री पानी की बात करते हैं ना, तो मैं याद दिलाना चाहती हूँ कि दिल्ली के किसान को कोई सब्सिडी नहीं है, कमर्शियल रेट पे करता है वो, और पानी तक नहीं है उसके पास। पानी भी ग्राउंड वाटर लेता है वो, वहां ना पीने का पानी है ना नहाने धोने का पानी है। दिल्ली के देहात में जरा जाके आप हालत देखिए।
In other news, BSF has foiled infiltration bid of 2 Pakistani intruders along Rajatal border outpost in Amritsar sector and also seized huge cache of arms and ammunitions. 2 Pakistani infiltrators were eliminated by BSF jawans, a big breakthrough for BSF.
इस 16-17 दिसंबर की रात को बीएसएफ के ट्रुप्स ने अमृतसर सेक्टर के 3 सफलतापूर्वक हमने ऑपरेशन किए हैं और तीनों ऑपरेशन में हमें कामयाबी हासिल हुई। फर्स्ट ऑपरेशन जो मैं बताना चाहूँगा आपको, वो बीओपी राजाताल के इलाके में हुआ, जिसमें 2 आर्म्ड इंट्रूडर्स जो कि एक ऑटोमेटिक हथियारों से लैस थे, एक के पास AK-56 राइफल और 61 राउंड और 3 मैगजीन थे, और दूसरे वाले के पास में एक मैग्नम राइफल .223 बोर, एक मैगजीन और 29 राउंड थे।
Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar addressed the National Student Startup Prashansa Awards 2020. He said that event aims to create knowledge-sharing platform for innovations, adding that Atal Tinkering Labs has augmented youngsters-led startups and has been a great success.
Atal Tinkering Labs स्कूलों में शुरू हुए। 6ठी से 12वीं तक के छात्र आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, 3D प्रिंटिंग और ऐसे आधुनिक औजारों से और आधुनिक तकनीक के से काम करने लगते हैं, और इसीलिए यह अटल टिंकरिंग लैब एक बहुत सफल प्रयोग रहा। और अटल टिंकरिंग लैब की ओलंपियाड होती है, वो ओलंपियाड में अनेक नए आइडियाज लेकर छात्र आते हैं। ये इनोवेशन की शुरुआत है।
Minister also said that incubation centers have been implemented in IITs and NITs, adding that funding is important in innovations and startups.
सभी IITs में और बाकी जगह इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर शुरू कर रहे हैं, NITs में भी, और वहाँ ये बच्चे अपना प्रोडक्ट को आगे डेवलप करके कमर्शियली फिजिबल है कि नहीं ये देखने में जुट जाते हैं। और उसमें जो प्रयोग करते हैं उनको विभिन्न कंपनियां भी सहायता करती है, और करने के बाद अगर वो प्रोडक्ट हो गया, और मुझे खुशी है कि पिछले 4 साल के एफर्ट में लगभग 60-70 सॉल्यूशंस ऐसे आए कि जिसका उपयोग शुरू भी हो गया, और एक उपजाऊ, एक अच्छी टिकाऊ वस्तु तैयार करना ये एक नया बात है। तो ये नए प्रोडक्ट, इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट्स तैयार करना ये भी महत्वपूर्ण है।
Union Minister Prakash Javadekar commented on the BJP's performance in local body polls in Kerala, stating that BJP has got over 10% votes continuously in the elections in Kerala. He added that BJP has got a very good start in Kerala.
4 चुनाव में केरल में लगातार 10% से ज्यादा वोट बीजेपी को मिल रहे हैं। अब हमारा परसेंटेज भी बढ़ रहा है, लोग भी आ रहे हैं, और इससे जीत में भी परिवर्तित हो रहा है हमारा वोट। विधानसभा चुनाव में इस बार शानदार प्रदर्शन बीजेपी का रहेगा।
Skipper Virat Kohli got run out on 74 against Australia in the first test at Adelaide. That's the latest. He and his deputy Ajkiya Rahane made an 88-run partnership. They chipped in 88 for the 4th wicket. That was a 4th wicket 88-run partnership by both earlier in the play. Kohli and Cheteshwar Pujara stitched a 68-run stand together. Pujara was dismissed by Nathan Lyon minutes ahead of the conclusion of the second session. Pujara walked back after scoring a gritty 160 ball 43 knock. India faced an early blow as Mitchell Starc castled opener Prithvi Shaw off the second ball of the match. That was an early dismissal for India. The Indian opener was dismissed just for a 2-ball duck. Mayank Agarwal then looked confident during his stay at the crease, but Pat Cummins cleaned up with a peach of a delivery. Currently, India are batting, going strong on 223 for the loss of 6 wickets on day 1. And you can also listen to the live commentary by All India Radio of India-Australia Day 1 at Adelaide on YouTube channel of Prasar Bharati Sports. You can catch all the action on Prasar Bharati's YouTube channel. With that, it's time to wrap up this edition of Newscast. Stay tuned to DD News for latest news and updates. Namaskar.